Dal, you ready?
There you go.
Good evening. Welcome to the sixth meeting of the year. Today is April 13th, 2026. Alyssa, can you please read the publication?
In compliance with Chapter 231 of Public Law of 1975, notice of this meeting to be held at the Criminal Justice Building, 61 Main Street, South River, has been published in the Home News Tribune on January 7, 2026, posted on the Municipal Building Bulletin Board, the Borough website, and the front door of the Criminal Justice Building at 61 Main Street, South River.
Roll call.
Mayor Gindi?
Here.
Councilwoman Da Silva?
Here.
Councilman Donato?
Here.
Councilman DeZemian?
Here.
Councilman Janikopoulos?
Here.
Councilman Gerchensky?
Here.
Council President DeSantis?
Here. Please stand for the salute to the flag and a moment of silence. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. We have two presentations today. We have one presentation today. One is going to be on a water meter replacement project, and the proclamation is going to be on National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week proclamation. I'd like to do that first before we get into the water meter replacement. Danielle wanted to say a few words after this. All right. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time and require police, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and emergency medical technicians is critical to the protection of life, preservation of the property, and whereas the safety of our police officers, firefighters, and emergency medical technicians is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of the information obtained from citizens who telephone the South River Police Department's Emergency Communications Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services, and whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information and ensuring their safety. Whereas public safety telecommunicators of the South River Police Department have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding the professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year. Now, therefore, I, Peter S. Gindi, along with the members of the Council of the Borough of South River, do hereby proclaim April 12th through 18, 2026 to be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in South River in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our community and the citizens safe, given under the hand of the seal, the Borough of South River. 13th day of April 2026. I can't thank you enough for what you do every day. You are the heart and soul of the first responders, are what drives this town to safety. All right, next is going to be the presentation to the water meter replacement, which is going to be Philippe to explain to us all the procedures, the timeline, what we have done, where are we at today. Philippe?
Council President. Again, Felipe Contreras, thank you for having me early in the meeting. So, update on the project. We have received the third phase of surveying. First two survey sections are complete. We're working on the third one last section missing. If you look at the map of South River, northeast is section 1, northwest is section 2, southwest is section 3, and section 4 is the southeast. All the town has been surveyed. Right now we're just checking inverts for manholes and storm to avoid any conflicts of during the construction of the water main. As you know, the test pit plan has been completed. Took about 3 months where we tested the location of the pipes and materials and diameter and all that. All that have been incorporated in the plans and specifications. We have also prepared an environmental assessment report and that's submitted to the NJ Infrastructure Bank for review and approval, municipal element. And we have looked into additional avenues for funding. So we have a better opportunity to have a little bit more money, free money from the state if we add the service line replacements in the project. So we're looking for a way to include those in the project so we get better principal forgiveness and reduction in the interest rate, about 5% reduction from 20 to 25, and the principal forgiveness also go back a little bit. At the same time, the mayor, Don, and Joe and I have been working with mainly Don, she's just coordinating all of us to request funding to the office of Cory Booker. It's been a challenge. They are very tough and they have a lot of people to satisfy, but we are pushing hard on trying to get some not interest-free money for the project. So we keep pursuing that. We had a couple meetings. We have one meeting 2 weeks ago where they offered just a little bit. We're going to push for more. Mayor is leading that opportunity there. In terms of the design, as I said, the 3 phases are pretty much complete. We are also coordinated with Middlesex County for Old Bridge Turnpike. It's a difficult situation with them because, as you know, that is the boundary of the town. And if we go and do the work there, the county is requesting to repave the whole street across curb to curb, which is significant amount of money considering that we are in our side of town. So we're looking into details with them in what we need to do. Front-end specifications will be ready in about 3 weeks. We're going to start a review with the Office of State Controller, New Jersey Office of State Controller. For any project larger than $15 million, we're required to follow that procedure. It takes a while. They're looking at contractual obligations for us and the contractor in terms of the front-end specifications of the bid documents. With this in mind, we are aiming to have a complete design by September, middle of September. At that point in time, we're going to send it to Municipal Finance and Construction Element from DEP to get their authorization to advertise. In terms of how long they've been taking, we're looking for authorization to advertise sometime in December, middle of January, depending on what they have in the queue. With that said, we're looking at financial ability for 2027 fiscal year and notice to proceed for the contract in about April of 2027. There is an important thing here because we need to be aggressive, but we need to also be conscientious of the size of the project and what it means to all of us to go for the whole project. It's 160,000 linear feet of pipe, so we might phase the project into 2 or 3 timelines, so we can stagger the work. Well, when it's completed, then we go to the other one and then to the other one. But we want to do the full design and the full review of the entire document, so we don't have to go for the review and approval every time we have a project out for bid. That also gives us the opportunity to go and ask for interim financials. So it might not close for fiscal year 27. We might be able to ask for interim financing on 26 to alleviate some of the costs that we might be incurred so far. Cost estimate of the project, it was included in the environmental assessment report. We forwarded a few weeks ago, well, more than a few weeks ago. And we re-forwarded again a few weeks ago for your review of the status of that. In terms of permitting, the water main extension permitting was approved. That doesn't mean that the design of the water main was complete. We just gave them parameters that we're going to follow to guarantee a successful installation of the water main in the borough. We're currently working in soil erosion and sediment control plans, New Jersey DOT traffic control plans, and Middlesex County roads, conversations that we need to have once we have a clear understanding of the design in those roads. We're also going to be back very soon with the water department and with Public Works to look at the areas that have been paved recently and what does mean for us in terms of the project. Or roads that are going to be planned ahead so we can maybe prioritize those streets in order to make the project more efficient. That's all I have for you. Open for any questions if you have any.
Are you planning on doing a certain section of town first? Is it the worst parts get done first, I'm assuming, because that's a lot of the questions that we're getting.
Correct.
So is that part of the phase system? Like, so phase one would, I would hope,
Northeast.
northeast?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the area that hydraulic model, color in the water, all the complaints have been in that area. We did a fire testing. We didn't clear the pipes for days, if not weeks, just trying to get the color out of the water. So yes, we're going to start there.
So that's being prioritized. That we
Correct.
just want to make that clear. Yep. Okay. Thank you.
I sent a copy of the plans recently of what has been completed in design, and that section is already complete.
I do have a question. You had mentioned Main Street and then some of the other county roads, liaising with any of the situations where the roads recently paved or going to be paved, and you said we're going to try or we're going to look into that. Obviously, the county money, our money, the money that goes into these projects is better spent once, not twice.
Correct.
So when you say we're going to try to look into that, is there a protocol where they have like a cutoff of like if your project's going to start in a certain amount of months, you would pause any paving? Do they have like a timeline or do they just guess?
So that's a difficult conversation that we always have with the county, because when they say we want to do it, they just go and do it. They've told about Main Street for years that they were going to do it. We never had a date. Now it's understanding that it's going to be done very soon. Very soon in a capital improvement project of this nature could be a year. But keep in mind that this project is at least 5 years of construction. When I say that, but for one contractor, if one contractor follows the whole thing. We're going to try to prioritize it in terms of maybe 2 crews. But that timeliness on a specific roads, we just need to know when that is going to happen, and that is a conversation we're having with the county right now. Because once we know, then we can say, maybe we go just with these main roads right now, and we just don't maybe not do the whole length, we just do enough from the main to get out of the right-of-way into the side streets. And then we prioritize that section like that.
Right, because I can understand like timing. Main Street, for example, the money is one thing, but it's a main road. The inconvenience, again, we just ripped up where they pulled out the railroad ties, and they're going to go back and repave it. Even just having a conversation on that specific one, I understand prioritizing the area of town that's in worse shape, but maybe that's the second step after the roads that are in timelines. I just want to make sure that all of us up here are involved in that conversation. Too many times it's like, oh, if we would have said something or we'd have thought of that. It's been a verbal conversation between all of us here and there about that, and we all 7 of us have discussed that we have to do the most logical, efficient, and least disruptive to the borough, inconvenience-wise, and of course financially for the county and the borough to not spend, good money after bad. So that's all. Thank you.
I've got a question. By the way, thank you for all the information you sent me. It was pretty complex and complete. We talked about the difficulties that you're having with, I guess it's the DEP, with the connections to the residential homes.
Yes.
What did you ever get that resolved with them?
So when we sent the water main extension permit, part of the permit that we need to do to reconstruct the water mains in town, they had 4 comments. utilities crossings more than 10 feet, end of roads, end of mains, they need to have a hydrant, separation needs to be X or Y, and they don't like partial replacements. Partial replacements of laterals. If I may elaborate a little bit on that, we have the water main. We have a lateral all the way to the curb stop, and from the curb stop into the house, into the meter. The project was foreseen to replace from the water main to the curb stop. That is not what they want to see under the lead service line replacement with the state. In order to do it that way, there are mechanisms because they understand not to do it because they understand that not everybody's on board, considering that the property, that the water main is owned by the property owners, not the borough. So it's not an easy conversation of that. There is an avenue to include in the bid a series of advertisements telling the owners, hey, we're going to be here. You can replace your water main, your lateral right now with the contract. That's one. The second option would be you can, we'll do it for you and then you pay us with the water bill, whatever it is. Or we just go ahead and do it and get the money from the state and then finance with the whole town for the service laterals that need to be replaced. Only the lead lines need to be replaced, keep in mind. We don't have a clear inventory on lead right now. We're talking about 3,350 laterals with this project, 60% of the users. So we cannot put that as a request because we don't know the materials. But switching the project from a water main replacement project to a lead service line replacement plus a water main project will allow for some funding on that end. So that's what we're trying to navigate right now.
Another question I had. You said, we've talked about this before at different meetings. There's not going to be, you're not going to be repaving each road. You're just going to be doing the trenches, from what I understand. So you got the main trench for the water main itself, and then you got the service trenches that go on either side for each one of the homes or building or the businesses. Now, when you do all that, some of our roads are in pretty bad shape. What happens when the road starts to fall apart?
So that is a funding question for you. Do you want to repair the whole road or not? The mechanism with the state for water main replacement will not reimburse for full curb-to-curb repaving. If you do water and sewer, you do. If you do just water, you don't get that. So you would do the project, pay for the trench that goes into the loan, and the remaining is with your own funds and cannot be included in the loan application. So those are the alternatives. To mitigate that, we're leaving two things open. The trench is the trench, and we can't do anything about it, right? For the water main. For the laterals, we are listing it as an open trench, but there is a possibility that they can mold it. So we don't have the crossing every household. There are places where we can do it, but where we have utility conflicts, when you have to cross the sanitary, I'm not going to recommend that. But if it's open, we should allow the contractor to mold it to minimize the amount of asphalt and trench restoration that would have to do.
Okay. The other question I have, assuming that can be done that way, every trench you excavate in any project, you have settlement problems when you put the material back in. What provisions we have to make sure that is minimal?
So you have the trench, you backfill, you compact, then we're going to put 8 inches of DGA of asphalt on top of the DGA, and we let it sit for 3 months, waiting for settlement. Usually the trench doesn't settle, it's what's next to it that settles. After those 3 months of natural settlement, reshaping of the trench and the boundary areas, going to mill and pave, not just the trench, it's going to be the trench plus a foot in each side. And then probably a 6 foot wide final top coat for restoration, final restoration for the project, and then we do striping and so on.
What type of excavation for those trenches in the pavement? Are you going to jackhammer them, or are you going to saw
We are
cut?
going to saw cut the two sides, and then we take as clean as possible. Keep in mind that we have asphalt. Keep in mind that we have concrete in some roads. Keep in mind that we have asphalt and concrete in some roads. So that cut has to be clean.
And as far as compaction goes, what percentage of compaction are you going to be able to achieve? Because there's a certain method you use to compact where you're going to wind up with, I think it's maybe 96% compaction. But how do you gauge
90 to
that?
95. Well, the main thing is that you compact every 6 inches of material. You don't just dump the whole thing, the whole DGA in the hole. We put 6 inches, we compact, another 6 inches, we compact. Another 6 inches, we compact, we get to the 8 inches, and then we put the asphalt on top. But one important thing is the proximity of the other utilities, gas and sewer storm, have required for us to encase a significant amount of length of pipes, of water pipe, new pipes. So in those pipes that are going to be encased, the settlement is going to be minimum. Why? Because we're encasing them with K-Crete. It's a light bituminous that can be demolished and whatever, but it prevents from any tagging after the installation. So it's a combination of the two.
Because I've seen trenches where the trench themselves will sink about 3-4 inches,
At least, yeah.
and people are going to go driving down the road, and they're going to have that washboard effect like they had on Main Street, and want to avoid that. That does shake homes.
Yeah.
So whatever you're going to have good inspection out there, watching these guys do a 6-inch lift or an 8-inch lift. I'd be surprised if you get it. So we have to keep a really sharp eye on these contractors, whoever they are. How do I know that? I've been there. So that is my concern. If everything works out fine and we get minimal amount of settlement, yeah, you're going to have to wait, like you say, the 6 to 8 months to see if whatever settlement is, and then come back and top it off.
Correct.
And if it's done properly, should be a minimal amount of problems, and that's what we want to maintain, that keep it that way.
Weather is also a factor, so we don't
Of course.
compact back trench when it's raining. We experienced them during the test pit options that we had of very wet times, and you compact and you're pushing water and then it doesn't do anything.
It's muck.
Yes, so we had to come a couple times to fix it, so we understand the situation.
A good inspection is gonna help an awful lot.
Good. All right, well, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Look forward to working with you. We are going to go into the introduction of the 2026 municipal budget. Alyssa, 2026-118.
Resolution 2026-118, resolution accepting the Borough of South River municipal budget for the fiscal year of 2026.
Motion to adopt as introduced.
Second.
Motion by Council President DeSantis, seconded by Councilman Krasinski.
Yes.
Councilwoman De Silva?
Yes.
Councilman Donato?
Yes.
Councilman DeZemian?
Yes.
Councilman Janikopoulos?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Council President DeSantis?
Yes.
We are going to go into agenda session. We have one for second reading. We have two for first reading. All three of them are going to be explained by our BA, Mark.
So for second reading, 2026-8 basically is the amending the loading zone on Mark's Place. Basically, it adds the hours from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And actually expands the loading zone. So the furthest point on Mark's Place from Jackson Street is 130 feet, which is originally in the ordinance. And it's shortening the distance, the closest distance, from 110 feet to 85 feet. So that's the change. First reading, 2026-9. It's amending Chapter 193-31.1, which is the handicap parking. It's adding a handicap parking spot on Phillip Street near the corner of Burton Avenue. The resident of Burton Avenue does not have a driveway. She's looking to install a handicap ramp up from the side of her house. She has the proper documentation and proper placards from DMV to pass to get a handicap parking space. And then the last one for first reading is 2026-10. Is to amend Chapter 193 entitled Vehicles and Traffic. Is to implement a no parking zone on William Street from Henry to Leroy, and that's on the westbound side, western side of William Street. It's directly in front of St. Stephen's Church. There are already signs there for no parking, and the majority of the curbs are already painted yellow. So it's just not in the ordinance, and we're looking to add it into the ordinance.
All right, thank you. Alyssa, second reading, 2026-8.
Ordinance 2026-8, an ordinance of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending the Borough Code of the Borough of South River so as to amend Chapter 193 entitled Vehicles and Traffic.
Motion to waive the full read?
Second.
Motion by Council President DeSantis, seconded by Councilman DeZemian.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to open this up to the public. First call, second call.
Motion to close public?
Motion by Council President
Second.
DeSantis, seconded by Councilman Giannakopoulos.
All in favor?
Aye.
Council discussion? Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Krasinski,
Second.
second by Councilman Giannakopoulos.
Councilwoman De Silva?
Yes.
Councilman Donato?
Yes.
Councilman DeZemian?
Yes.
Councilman Giannakopoulos?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Council President DeSantis?
Yes.
Alyssa, first reading, 2026-9.
Ordinance 2026-9, an ordinance to amend the Code of the Borough of South River, Chapter 193, entitled Vehicles and Traffic by amending Section 193-31.1, Schedule 2A, handicap parking thereof.
Mayor, I move that council pass ordinance 2026-9 on its first reading by title only, and that the clerk be authorized to publish the same as required by law, with the second reading and public hearing to be held at a meeting at 7 p.m. on Monday, May 11th, 2026, by video conference via Zoom or in the council chambers of the Criminal Justice Building at 61 Main Street in South River, New Jersey.
Do I have a second?
I'll make a second.
Motion by Council President DeSantis, seconded by Councilman Giannakopoulos.
Councilwoman De Silva?
Yes.
Councilman Donato?
Yes.
Councilman DeZemian?
Yes.
Councilman Giannakopoulos?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Council President DeSantis?
Yes.
Alyssa, 2026-10.
Ordinance 2026-10, an ordinance of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending the Borough Code of the Borough of South River so as to amend Chapter 193 entitled Vehicles and Traffic.
I move that council pass ordinance 2026-10 on its first reading by title only, and that the clerk be authorized to publish the same as is required by law, with the second reading and public hearing to be held at a meeting at 7 p.m. on Monday, May 11th, 2026, by video conference via Zoom or in the council chambers of the Criminal Justice Building at 61 Main Street in South River, New Jersey.
Motion by Council President DeSantis,
Second.
second by Councilman Krasinski.
Councilwoman De Silva?
Yes.
Councilman Donato?
Yes.
Councilman DeZemian?
Yes.
Councilman Giannakopoulos?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Council President DeSantis?
Yes.
We're going to go into reports. CME, Justin.
Thank you, Mayor. Brief update on the active capital projects taking place in the borough for the 2023 and 2024 local aid program. Our office is actively working with the contractor to complete the remaining punch list items and close the project. For the 2023 Local Transportation Projects Grant, the NJDOT has agreed with the bid recommendation to award the project to Crossroads Paving, and a pre-construction meeting will be scheduled in the coming weeks. The 2025 Local Aid Program, the project has been advertised and the bid opening is scheduled for April 30th at 10 a.m. 2025 Electrical Substation Maintenance, work has begun on the improvements. And then for the 2026 Local Aid Program, our office has been authorized and design work has begun. That's all I have. Thank you.
Discussion? Nope. Thank you, Justin. CFO, Joe?
All right. A couple things on the agenda. Number one, you have a resolution for the shared service agreement with the Milltown Court. We share the court administrator for a day and a half. She goes over there for a day and a half, and they pay us for that service. You also have a resolution to approve the LoSAP list for the volunteer fire department that we do annually. You have a bid award for unidirectional flushing for phase 2 and 3 and valve exercising in the town. We did phase 1 in 2024. This is phase 2 and 3. This will comply with the NJDEP and the Water Quality Accountability Act, and also help with Fleet Bay with the project with the water main replacement project. by mapping all the valves and everything in town. And then last thing for the budget, I'll just highlight a couple things if you want for the budget. All right, so our budget is an estimate. It's a planning document. We have to comply with the state of New Jersey cap laws, which is the appropriation cap law and the tax levy cap law. The introduction of the budget complies with both. There's no cuts in services in the budget. Within the next day or two, the budget will be online for the public to see. Also with all the other financial documents, which is the 2025 annual financial statement and the 2025 annual debt statement. So all the documents will be on the website for the public to see. The Budget Committee, which is Council President DeSantis, Councilman DeZimian, and Councilman Donato, and Mark and I met about 5 times to go over the budget. We also met with departments, the police, fire, DPW, OEM, and discussed their budget requests also. So the budget is broken out into 4 funds. It is the current fund where your taxes go in and pay most of your expenses, which are police, fire, finances, debt service, and all that stuff. We also have an electric fund, a water fund, and a parking fund. The toughest thing in the budget really wasn't a revenue issue, because most of our revenues from last year hit their marks. It was on the expenditure side. Health insurance increased 25.25%, which is about $506,000. So when you look at our total budget, and a 2% increase is $239,000, and one line goes up $506,000, you know it's going to be a tough budget year. But this is everywhere. This just isn't in South River. I mean, I'm getting a million emails from CFOs. I'm reading the paper. Almost every town's having financial problems with their health insurance. Our other insurances, which are workers' comp, liability insurance, insurance for buildings, went up 10%, which is about $63,000. So those 2 line items alone went up $569,000, which is very significant in a town this size and a budget this size. 2 other lines that went up significant were recycling, the cost that we do for recycling, and also road repairs. All those snowstorms we had this year came at a terrible time. The budget went up over $200,000 just for removing the snow, buying salt, and overtime, which the year before, we hardly had any snowstorms. Overtime was very low, and we didn't have to buy that much salt. So the one budget line, which is road repairs, we had to increase $90,000 at the last minute when the Budget Committee met after the couple major snowstorms. So like I said before, it's not really a revenue problem. It's more of an expenditure problem, but it's more expenditures that get passed on to us. Some good news is, we have a parking fund that has no change in rates. It's a very small fund. We have a water fund that has no change in rates, still the same rates as last year. We also tried to save some money in water by renegotiating a contract with East Brunswick on the amount of water we buy. So we're buying 200,000 gallons a day of less water from East Brunswick, which is saving us a decent amount of money. And also the electric fund. Our electric fund is in great shape right now, even though the rates are skyrocketing around the country, and especially on the East Coast. We have, in the last 10 years, the only thing we've done is decrease rates 5% in the last 10 years. I think Council President DeSantis has mentioned this numerous times. Our rates are lower than PSC&G, JCP&L, and a lot of the other towns that handle electric utility. Now, I'm not going to say in the future this is not going to stay like this, but because right now rates are still going up significantly. But the battery projects we did, phase 2 went on board January of this year. So once that's operational, which it is now, we should be saving next year in 27 as long as it hits its peaks in 26. So we've done everything we can to try to keep the rates as low as we can in town, and so far it's been successful. So with that, the average increase for a home assessed at $293,268.34 will see a $13.41 a month increase. We also plan on doing some projects this year, which is park improvements. We're buying a DPW vehicle. We always buy police vehicles each year in the budget, some sewer improvements, computer upgrades, and what else do we have? TV 35 upgrades, and some cameras and security systems in town. So again, it'll be on the website starting probably tomorrow or the next day. It'll be on the website for people to see. Every financial document will be on there, and then we have the adoption on May 11th. So that's it.
Council discussion? All right, thank you, Joe. Age, DPW.
All right, Mayor. Hydrant flushings are going to start next Monday, April 20th, all the way to May 8th. We'll be starting in Area 3, which is down by Veterans, and working our way down. The information is in the calendar. It'll be Nixle sent out, social media, and we urge don't do laundry during this time. It could hit the other end of town, so be vigilant. So, and also next Saturday, April 25th is our shred event down at 9 Ivan Way from 9 to 12. It's open to the public, all county residents, businesses. Bring as much as you want. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Discussion? Nope. Fire chief.
Right now, we're up to 132 calls for the year. One engine out of service at this time due to air problem with the air system. If they can fix it, if not. Ladies Auxiliary is doing a food drive, a spring food drive on Saturday, May 9th. 1 p.m. To help for the food. Are getting into our testing. When did you say the flushing is going?
Thank you. Discussion? John?
I have nothing to share during the public session, but we do have a few items for executive.
Okay. Melissa? BA chief?
I don't have anything for the agenda, but I do have some public service announcements. On April 25th, next Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., we are participating in a DEA's National Prescription Take-Back Day. So if you have any unused or unwanted pills, capsules, or patches, if you want to bring them here, we'll have officers in our front lobby collecting that. The only thing we do ask you don't bring any liquids or any needles or sharps. On May 4th, which is a Monday, we are going to be accepting applications. Our applications will be available for our South River Police Department's Junior Police Academy. So there's only 20 spaces available, and it's open to children entering 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. And the dates for the Junior Police Academy are August 24th through the 28th. And I just want to thank the fire department for allowing us to use their facility on Jackson Street for the academy. Also on May 16th, it's a Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We are participating in a child passenger safety checkpoint. So any parents that have any car seats that they want properly installed, we have certified technicians in our police department ready to install them, inspect them, and provide you with information on how they should be properly secured to the cars. And that'll be at the firehouse. And other than that, we're still accepting applications for crossing guards. So if anybody is looking for a job, please come down to 48 Washington Street and pick up an application.
Thank you. Now we're going to go council reports. Councilman Krasinski?
Thank you, Mayor. Of course, I can't tell you what they're going to be doing in the May month in the Office on Aging. Right now, a lot of the programs and everything are closed because usually they have registration at the very beginning of the month. So if you're ever interested in any of the programs that they're having or anything, check the borough website and make sure that you register early. And if you cannot make it, please notify them and let them know beforehand, because they do reserve a certain amount and they cannot get credit for it or get unless they know for sure what the attendance is going to be. Also, the only other thing too would be the shred event. It's basically documents. It's not books or x-rays or anything that's basically hard. What they want is bills, personal records, or something like that too that's manageable. Okay? That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman De Silva.
I want to tell everybody the Reviews Clinic was a great success. There was thank everybody, all the residents that brought out donations. Other than that, the Cultural Arts and Heritage Commission is still planning on continuing the flag raising at Daly's Pond. All residents are welcome to get involved. The Flag raising request forms can be found on the Borough website or by contacting the Cultural Arts and Heritage Commission directly. And for tonight, that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman DeZemian.
Thank you, Mayor. A detailed description of the recent renovation to the dispatcher's room at police headquarters was added to the project blog on the borough's website. More updates with current ongoing projects will be updated on the project blog soon. With the help of the rec department, I plan to supervise the youth again this summer in a youth fundamental basketball program at Leonardine Park, just like I did last year. It was a success. The kids ages 4 through 7 had a wonderful time. Want to keep this going and build it up as much as possible. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Giannakopoulos.
Yes, Mayor. The Environmental Commission had a meeting scheduled for April 23rd. That's being moved to April 30th. It's being moved to April 30th. They start at 6:30 down at 48 Washington. Everyone in town is welcome to come to that. If you're interested in environmental issues and keeping the town green and clean, it's the place to go. You can help out, and they're always looking for volunteers. Also, the EDC is having a meeting April 15th at 55 Reed Street. It's upstairs in the meeting room. They start at 7, and we deal with issues on trying to bring business downtown and working on things like the farmers market. And and with the shade tree, we are working on getting trees planted in the business district downtown on Main Street. That's happening within the next few weeks. And we're also currently working with someone to try to see if we can bring power to those trees so we could light them up for various holidays throughout the year. And that's coming really soon, and it's going to beautify Main Street, something we've been long waiting for. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Donato.
I have nothing to report at this time.
All right, Council President.
For the Recreation Advisory Board, spring activities started this week and next week, which include t-ball, baseball, softball, and flag football. We just started practicing on the new turf at Krakowski Park, which is great because it's our first borough turf field that we can utilize for the children and the adults of the borough. They played a high school baseball game on it today. There was a men's league played on it on Sunday. Our softball team's been practicing on it for a couple weeks, as well as a few others. It'll be nice when it rains. We don't have to worry too much if the games are going to be canceled. And the girls that I coach really appreciate it. They talk about how nice it feels and to run on it. So, but it's a step in the right direction. Can't always be the first town to have this kind of stuff, but we don't want to be last. So we're getting there, and we're doing all these things, as you know, Joe alluded to, with improving and investing back into the town, especially the youth. They're also going to add a chess program. Registration will open this week, and the classes will be on Friday starting in May. And summer recreation registration is also open until May. For all programs, you can visit the borough website for more details and to register, www.southriverNJ.org. You can click on departments, then Parks and Recreation, and you'll see a link to enroll. And if you have any issues online, you can call the office at 732-254-4412. And the next Recreation Advisory Board meeting will be Monday, May 19th at 6 p.m. at 55 Reed Street. And all residents are welcome and encouraged to attend.
Thank you. I will hold mine. I am going to open up to the public for consent resolutions only. If there's anything that you'd like to bring up, you have 5 minutes. State your name and your address. First call. Second call.
Motion to close?
Motion by Councilman
Seconded.
Krasinski, seconded by Councilman Giannakopoulos.
All in favor?
Aye. I will go into the mayoral appointments for the shade tree. The appointees are John Frost, Marie Frost, Emily Grasso, John Risco, William Selensky, Jess O'Hara, and our liaison to that board will be Nick Giannakopoulos. And then for the Environmental Commission and Green Team, the appointees are Emily Grasso, which is going to be the chair, Richard Byrne, William Selensky, Anne Marie Price, Sherry White, Madeline Riviera, Lisa Byrne, Doreen Graber. And our council liaison to that will be Joe Donato. Alyssa, can you please read off consent resolutions 2026 to 119 to 131, please?
Whereas Resolution 2026-01 authorizes the Borough Council to utilize the consent agenda to adopt various resolutions of a routine and non-controversial nature at one time, now therefore be it is hereby resolved that the below listed resolutions are hereby adopted by the Borough Council in whole as if the same were individually acted upon. Consent Resolutions 2026-119 to 2026-131. 119, authorizing the requisition of funds for payments to the custodian of the school monies. 120, authorizing the execution of a shared service agreement with the Borough of Milltown. 121, authorizing building subcode salary. 122, approve 2025 LoSAP list and contributions. 123, appointment of a laborer A for the sanitation department. 124, appointment of summer help to the Department of Public Works. 125, 2026 spring recreation employees. 126, authorize certain utility refunds. 127, accept March 23rd, 2026 meeting minutes. 128, authorize the bills and claims list. 129, awarding a contract for a unidirectional flushing program. 130, authorizing ILM services to provide water engineering services. 131, award contract to CME Associates for professional services for NJDEP stormwater discharge permit.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to second.
Motion by Councilman DeZemian, seconded by Council President DeSantis.
Councilwoman De Silva?
Yes.
Councilman Donato?
Yes, with the exception of 131, there was an error in the amount of, in the resolution. It was accidentally put in as $367 when it should have been $3,667.
Councilman DeZemian?
Yes.
Councilman Janikopoulos?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Council President DeSantis?
Yes.
I'd like to open this to the public. You get 5 minutes. Please state your name and your address.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Dorianne Kerber. I am on the Environmental Commission and Green Team. I've been on it for quite a while, and what I intend to do, particularly this year, is really do outreach within the community, particularly the way we have the signage already on some of the streets. We work with Keep Middlesex Moving. Those are their lawn signs, and they develop data for us as well as work with the police department to build this up for information so that we could use it for improving our streets. Not just, I can't do all streets, but they focus on a couple of streets and then they do the data and work with the police department to build that up. What happens is we get the information, we can expand that to the complete streets, which I have done in the Borough of Milltown. I forgot to say my address, 24 Reba Avenue in Milltown. Being that I'm a green infrastructure champion, I can be on anyone's green team and an advisory to the Environmental Commission. And with the complete streets, what it allows you to do is it creates a partnership between the elected officials, staff, police department, public works, to really focus on two main streets that need help and maintaining improvements for pedestrian traffic as well as all traffic, whether it's vehicles and such, scooters, bikes, and walkers. What happens is, and I applied for this, I did the Keep Middlesex Moving, we got a bronze level certification for that, and then what I did was I applied for the complete streets. With this information, you do a demonstration project and see how it works. And what they do is they give you a whole packet of information of ideas, how to enhance streets, how to improve them, whether it's the painting, bollards, whatever it may be. So that's my goal, is to build it up at the community events, the National Night Out as well, and work with everybody to really do that expansion. The other projects I'm talking about is the Daly Ponds Park. I do want to do a rain garden. I think it'll be very beneficial in that area. And since I am a GI champion, I can work with Rutgers Water Resources Program, and there will be no cost for us to design the rain garden. In addition, it's really a feature of stormwater management, so it's a plus. And this, Public Works or the engineer will record this, and it enhances our ability to get more funding from New Jersey Clean Communities, in addition for applying for stormwater management grants, in addition for roadway grants, because you're enhancing and improving the town. We already did the rain garden at South River High School. I has led that project with Rutgers, and it's been installed, and Mr. Cumberbatch has really been maintaining that with the students, and they're so accountable for it. So I'm very happy that they worked in that. Now I know there's another person at the middle school that writes grants that was looking to do some more rain gardens at the school, but right now my focus is Daly's Pond Park. So I'm hoping to be able to get a resolution or a letter of support from the mayor and council for us to move forward with the design work, so that in the fall, which will be the best time to plant the rain garden, we'll have volunteers. I have a network of volunteers, so I can get them from anywhere throughout the town here, plus outside of town if we need some, older folks to help with the digging. We'll just have to find a location for the old soil, because not all of it will be used, and work on that in terms of grant funding, possibly from Rutgers. We'll see. So that's my goal, is to really work on that. There's also a peace sign that's in Daly's Pond Park. And I want to make sure that we do, like spring flowers and maybe fall flowers and summer flowers, so that there's something there all the time. I've been noticing it for years, and it's just a little bit there, but then it dies off and it's just all green. So that's another area, and a couple other areas in the park I'd like to do. It'd be great to add some more reflectors too on the parking poles, maybe paint them. I spoke to Home Depot. I can probably get a grant. Basically what happens is management applies for the grant or gives us gift cards for whatever, cost we need for some of those items, based upon, what we do with and work with Rutgers and see where we can get some of the funding to reduce the cost. But the volunteers is the biggest cost, the labor for the rain garden. And also the county will provide us free native plants. The whole idea for a rain garden is it's a depression that provides all anything kind of runoff from the top of the street down. It takes all pollutants, runs through the rain garden, and infiltrates the water slowly, so that you're not having a lot of puddles on the walkway like you do now. It'll minimize that past the gazebo area. And I'll have photos for the next meeting, the area that we want to do, and work on getting the volunteer list going. I have some ideas, but I just want to call people to confirm to get that going. So that's my goal, and anything else that you want to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll work on that letter for you. Thank you. Anyone else from the public? First call? Second call?
Motion to close public?
Second. Motion by Council President DeSantis, seconded by Councilman Krasinski.
All in favor?
Aye. Council comments, Councilman Donato.
Yes. Just want to thank all our local civil service workers, and especially the police, fire department for all they do. And I ask that, I have a granddaughter who is in the Air Force and over in the Iraq area. And I ask that everybody keep all the men and women in our military that are active in any part of the world, especially in the real active areas, keep them in your mind and your prayers, and it would be appreciated. They need as much as they can get. Other than that, have a great couple of weeks, and I'll see you at the next meeting.
Councilman Giannakopoulos.
Yeah, the only thing I have, Mayor, is I wanted to say that summertime's around the corner, and I see more and more kids out on these electric bikes. And if you're a parent, just tell your children that, yeah, it's fun to ride. I mean, I would love to ride one when I was a little kid, but they can be dangerous, and you got to be responsible when you're riding them. You can't just ride down the center of the street and expect cars to know that you're there and see you. And, I'm telling the parents out there to just tell their kids to be extra cautious with these bikes, because they move quick, and it only takes a second of somebody turning away and now you have a tragedy, and we just want to avoid a tragedy because I see them all over the place when I'm riding around, and just want to just make parents aware and just drill it into your kid's head that these things are fun, but they could be dangerous and they come with responsibility. That's all.
Councilman DeZemian.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you again to the dispatchers for the hard work you do and being recognized today. You're well deserved. There will be a concert at the Imperial Music Center this Sunday, April 19th at 3 o'clock. It's not the Imperial Music Center group that's playing. It's two groups, so it's a special performance. It's the Central Jersey Wind Ensemble and the Hanover Wind Symphony. There is a $10 suggested donation. The proceeds to benefit the Imperial Music Center itself. So come out and support them, and it will be really good music. I know a bunch of people that are in the performance. They are past band directors from South River High School and other local towns. So it's a very good group. There's two of them. And that's April 19th at 3 o'clock, Imperial Music Center. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman De Silva.
Want to congratulate our two dispatchers. Also, thank you for your great work. Keep it up. But also wanted to touch base on what Councilman Giancapo said about the e-bikes and scooters. I touched it on the last meeting. I'm not going to go on a rant again. I think my point got across. But also new drivers out there, our construction workers, anybody driving in this town. This afternoon I was going down Cam, and children now are playing in the front lawn. They're playing soccer, they're playing ball. Just be aware. There's so many cars parked now on both sides of the street that if the ball comes out in the middle of the street, we were kids. Our first initiative is to run after the ball and get the ball. Just be aware that there are kids out there playing after school, especially our new drivers, our 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds. Speak to your children. Tell them like an extra 5-10 seconds can save a life. I watched a young kid come speeding by a corner, and I didn't see, the kids were on the lawn, they didn't come in the street, but I was just thinking ahead. As a parent, you think ahead of the worst thing, and if your kid's in the front lawn, make sure somebody's out there watching them. Adults, don't leave them out there. Kids will be kids. We've all been kids. I just don't want to see another devastation in this town. And that's it.
Thank you. Councilman Krasinski.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to, again, extend my thanks to our public service workers, our police, fire, especially our DPW, Robert Wood Johnson, for all that they do. They do an extraordinary amount for the town. Especially the DPW, you see them picking up every morning, up and down Main Street and everything. The parks and everything are kept pristine. It's getting warmer. Our parks are getting a lot more use by the kids and everything else too. Like everybody else on the council has brought forth that the kids are out there and they're playing, and it's going to be a little bit darker and everything too. And also take into consideration, there's a lot of construction going on Route 18, and there's a lot of traffic being diverted through our town. So just the same, like all the other council persons have said, please keep an eye on your children. Be aware that they're out there. Go slow in the residential areas. I know there's some that like to speed it up a little bit, but you got to be more cautious back there because, like I said, the kids could come from anywhere. With that, that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Council President.
Yes, first, I'd like to correct myself. I had the rec meeting on Monday, the 19th of May. That's not a real day. That's actually the 18th, so I apologize for that. I also wanted to thank our first responders and the men and women who get them there, because the first call goes to our dispatch, and they're the ones that are going to get a frantic phone call in an emergency, and they get our great first responders there. I was able to stop down there today to congratulate them. One of the things you hear a lot is like, where are the cops in this town? They're not here, they're not there. Well, they want them at every park. They want them at every four-way stop. They want them at every school. They want them at everywhere. It's a little difficult when you have a limited amount of people. So while we're standing there just saying congratulations to them, a 911 call comes in. And there's a map, and there's 3 cop cars, like a little video game on the map. And within minutes, all the cars are where they needed to be. I watched them all move. The first one that gets there, it turns red. That's how they know they got there. Then the next car gets there. And then you can only overhear a little bit because we're not in the midst of the chaos, but something about a park and the one cop spins around to the other side of the park. I watch it happen, then they go back. So I don't know where the cops are all the time, but I know there would have been 3 minutes of that call. They were all in the house that had an issue. I don't even know what the issue was. But all I'm saying is that they're out there and they're doing their job. And thanks to the dispatchers who got them there. So it's very easy to sit at home or anywhere else and question what's happening when you're not there. But I was in the room today, and maybe I shouldn't have shared that story because it was a secret, Chief. Is that allowed? But the truth is, I was right there just to say thank you, and things happened, and I watched it. So that's the real time. And in a crazy emergency, those seconds matter. So thank you guys, all of you, for who do respond and who get them there, because without you guys, a lot of bad things will be a lot worse, and we appreciate you. So that's all.
Thank you. I know quite a few people have been asking what happened to the planters on Main Street. And what happened was we removed them because we're getting ready to bring in beautiful trees with the beautiful colors and finally bring some type of life to Main Street. So that is exactly why the planters were removed. As you heard, the e-bikes, July 1st, the state is coming down with a law that goes into effect, and it's a very strict law. So I recommend you, especially all your parents, to look into it because a lot of these e-bikes are going to be taken away. So you might want to really look into this law that was put upon us. Frost on the Pumpkin is finally here. It is out to advertise. Get your sneakers ready. South River's finally getting it back. You're not running. As you all heard, the fire hydrants are going to be flushed starting from April 20th, which means there's a very good chance you might have discoloration in your water. Please understand that whatever stirs up those lines is going to bring discoloration. Open up the highest point in your house, cold water, let it flow. It will clear itself out. Believe me when I tell you, it happens twice a year. Correct, Age? So please bear with us. Dispatchers, can't thank you enough for what you do. What you don't realize is dispatchers also prevent a lot of issues when it comes down to even putting out the call because they're capable of seeing issues that police officers, they don't see. So they are the lifeline to this town. I can't thank you for what you do. Please pass it off to the rest of the dispatchers, please. The weather is getting good outside. Please watch out for kids on bicycles, skateboards, running. They're coming in and out of cars. And, I have to tell you, I don't usually do this, but within a 30-day span from April to May, I have 3 council members that all have birthdays. Councilwoman De Silva, Council President DeSantis, and Councilman DeZemian. Happy birthday. Thank you. With that said, we are going to go into closed session. We are not going to be acting on anything. So if you'd like to stay, you can. If you'd like to leave, you're more than welcome to. Thank you for being at the council meeting. Lissa, 2026-132, please.
2026-132, whereas Section 8 of Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, permits the exclusion of the general public from a meeting of the governing body under certain circumstances, and whereas the mayor and council of the Borough of South River are of the opinion such circumstances presently exist, now therefore be it is hereby resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of South River in the county of Middlesex, state of New Jersey, that the public be excluded upon the hereinafter specific subject matter, and that such subject matter to be so discussed is as follows: litigation, property acquisition. Be it further resolved that such record of the above discussion will be made public when confidentiality is no longer required. The Borough Council of the Borough of South River may or may not take formal action at the conclusion of the executive session.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Council President DeSantis. Second by Councilman DeZemian.
Councilwoman DeSantis? Councilwoman De Silva?
Yes.
Councilman Donato?
Yes.
Councilman DeZemian?
Yes.
Councilman Janikopoulos?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Council President DeSantis?
Yes.
Okay. He said it once, it confused me.
All right, thank you.